Renegade Products. First podcast of our career, and we want to make it a special one. But we couldn't find anybody but Jeannie, so we'll do what we can today.
Thank you, Rami. I'm so honored to be here. I only drove 12 hours.
12 hours, but ain't like 18 hours, so don't be giving yourself too much credit. But in all seriousness, we want to thank you for being here. You are truly one of our favorites. And having said that, though, I want to make sure that we go over kind of like how we met. I mean, I know that most podcasts may start off with very ornate introductions of what they are and what they do, and we can circle back around to that later. But I think the main deal for me has always been the story of how Jeannie came to us. So I'm going to have you explain some of that.
You tell it a lot better than I do.
Well, no, but you know what? I like to hear it too, so go for it.
Well, Rami, back before, I was
Mr. Rami, to you, please.
Dear Sir Rami Poppy. Back before I was a somebody, I was a little nobody. And I was just really desperate for attention. You might know a little thing about that.
Well, it hasn't changed. This is a shit talk podcast. I want you guys to know that right now. Okay? If you're looking for some plain vanilla type podcast, you're in the wrong department.
First of all, this isn't shit talking. This is called love. And second of all, stop interrupting.
However you want to package it.
I reached out to you probably back in December, I believe, when I switched over to the automotive world because I was a fashion model for about 9-10 years. And you told me to come to you at LST.
Lone Star, that's right.
Yeah, Lone Star. And I came in, I messaged you the day I was there. I had a couple shoots lined up, and I said I'd come find you, and you told me where you were, and I came and found you, and you were surprised that I came and found you.
I thought you were just a fan. I didn't realize you actually wanted to work with us.
Well, I am a fan.
Okay.
I'm Renegade, not you.
Hey, so, why the switch from automotive to, from modeling to automotive? What triggered
I just didn't
that?
like the industry. I didn't like how cutthroat it was. I didn't like being
The
labeled.
automotive modeling end of it?
The fashion modeling.
The fashion modeling,
yeah.
Okay.
So this is my first official year as an automotive model. I was a fashion model beforehand, so I did glamour, fashion runway, bikini, lingerie, stuff like that. And then I made the switch into automotive because a good friend of mine told me that I would be good at it, so I trusted him.
Hey, so what made it so unappealing in the fashion world? Because a lot of people dream of being fashion models and glamour models. I mean, what as an insider, having done that, why is that so unappealing?
It was very restrictive. They told you pretty much who you could be and who you couldn't be, and just you had a schedule, and if you fell out of your schedule, then you didn't go to the next show.
So they scheduled your entire life, basically, even off camera?
Pretty much.
Wow, no kidding.
Yep, you lived a very routine life, gym,
So
what you could and couldn't eat, who you couldn't talk to.
A micromanaging type of environment?
Yeah, and you know me, I'm kind of wild and free, and that just didn't work for me.
Yeah, that's an understatement, that's for sure. So I guess when you came over into automotive, you first, and I know I've seen a lot of your media does still center around a lot of pictures with cars, for example, as opposed to our world, which is more a diesel world, really, whether they're big rigs or the lifted trucks in particular. So what was the transition there? Why didn't you just stay with automotive versus venturing into our world, the diesel world?
Because I like all builds. I think every build has a story behind it, and I like to bring out the uniqueness of each build, whether it's a car, truck, diesel, big rig, whatever it is.
So you're cool with any of the vehicles, really?
Yeah, I'm not picky.
Okay, cool.
I set my bar pretty low. That's why I came to you.
All right. Well, so speaking of that, then, so when you actually did finally meet us at Lone Star, was your intention to establish some kind of a collaboration, or what was going through your head at that point? Because you probably have seen some of our media, and I'll be the first to admit, confession time. Okay, we're not for everybody.
We're an AA,
okay,
guys.
we're hey, we've got a certain way we go to market, we've got a certain style, and we can't be everything to everybody, but we are good stuff to the folks that like us and love us, and I was a little concerned about anybody that really initially contacts us to be we want to be a renegade girl, as they call it, or there's no such thing as a renegade girl. I just, sorry, that's my pacemaker. I just want to make sure that's really kind of is it what you expected? Having now been on board for a handful of shows. What's your inside track? What are you telling people out there, for example, that want to become part of the team?
Right.
What are the goods and what are the bads?
I think You guys as a whole are absolutely amazing. Everyone's very helpful. Everyone's really communicative. Anytime like I'm feeling pressured or I don't understand something about like the product, one of the girls or yourself take the time out to explain it to me in detail. And that I really appreciate that because I'm the kind of person that I want to know how to better myself. Or if someone's asking me about Renegade products, I want to be able to give them the proper detail of how to use it or
Sure.
what it does so that they can utilize it correctly. I would say a downfall is, God, the guy that owns it, he's really just kind of a pill.
I tell you, it's not for everybody. I totally understand that. You sound like my wife, by the way. All right, awesome. We've had a good time. So we've done, how many shows have we done so far this year together?
Too many. I think we're on 6, 5.
What was your impression walking through our facilities? What you expected? I mean, what would you tell the folks out there in the vast cosmos of media as far as like what people see publicly on Instagram or Facebook or the other media channels versus kind of what you see behind the scenes?
Honestly, it's kind of fascinating, just like your history and where you came from versus what you made yourself to be today in your company and how you started versus where you're at now. It's extremely fascinating, especially coming from a construction industry. It's just kind of how you manufacture everything and how you ship everything out, and just the process of all of it actually was pretty captivating for me.
Yeah, that's cool. We really take pride in being able to make as much of the product that we sell ourselves.
Yeah, you can tell.
And you did touch upon construction, so let's just circle back around on like what JEANNE is when we don't see her at the shows, we don't see her on social media. What part of your life do you want to share with everybody that's, I don't want to say private, but maybe a little more personal than that we normally are accustomed to seeing on your media channels?
I'm 26 years old. I'm a single mother. My son will actually be 5 this coming week.
Oh, what day?
Wednesday, the 15th.
Oh, that's awesome. Good.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
I am a Christian. I volunteer at my church a lot. I sing on the worship team. I am also in the construction industry. I'm a project manager, so I bid on and I run commercial construction jobs. I know that's a lot for you to understand and comprehend, Rami.
What does that mean?
I do a lot of hard work. I don't just sit in an office and look pretty all day. I know, it's hard.
That's my old job. All right, so you do bidding for construction projects on the entire scope of the project or a certain portion of it? Or
certain portions. So we bid all of Division 8, which is all openings. So any like door frame and hardware associated with the opening, like hinges or doorknobs or latches or deadbolts or anything that goes on a door, I bid.
Hey, so who specs that out? You or your architect? How does that work?
So we help architects spec out jobs. It just depends on who the architect is and who they partner with typically to help spec out jobs like that.
What's the worst part of that job?
I would say the worst part is not being able to achieve what the contractor's wanting. So if they have an idea for the job or they have a certain goal in mind and you can't get it because of price discrepancies or because shipping deadlines don't meet the end of job deadline, it gets really frustrating because they kind of take it out on you, and I take it personal because I always want to help everybody, and I have a hard time saying no.
As you can for them, yeah. So has the aggravated world of, I was going to say post-corona, but we're still very much in the whole corona scheme of things, and we're experiencing within our world delays and price increases and shortages.
Oh,
and
it's
you just
everywhere.
name it. You have the same thing on your end as well?
Surcharges every 2 months, it seems like.
Totally,
freight increases, delayed shipping dates, manufacturer prices increases, just everything. Delays all over the place.
Hey, so what do you guys do when like the prices go up like
Well,
20, 30, 40%, sometimes double, sometimes triple?
When we typically bid a job, we try to incorporate an increase in it, ideally, but we always mark it up generally like 40 to 50% initially anyways.
To make sure you got some buffer.
Yeah,
there,
so we try to cover our butt regardless.
Is that your department? Is that what you do?
Cover my butt, or?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you do a lot of that, but I mean, is there like, who does the bidding? Is that like?
I do that.
So that's you are the one that will assess how much extra safety margin that goes into a project. Then.
I'll sit with my managers. So I'll put together a whole bid. I'll go up for quotes on everything. I'll put it all together, and then I'll go sit with my manager and I'll say, this is what our price is looking at. These are the potential increases. This is the project scope of everything. What do you want to mark it up at, just so we're covered? And then we'll agree on a price and go from there.
Get yourself a girl that knows math. That's the way to do it.
Coming from a banker.
Yeah, coming from a banker. I want to address something that's very near and dear to me. Now that you've been with us since, well, actually the first, I know you were at Smoky Mountain back in, was that March?
Yeah, that was my first official show.
That was your, although you weren't really like officially our ambassador or partner at that time, you ended up taking some media with Diesel Hotties with Chelsea. And Grady was there doing some of that. But I think your actually first real gig with us would have been, so like, let's just say it was Daytona, which would have been like June, July, August, September. So you're still on probation. You're only 4 months with us now, so you're still short another 18 months before you get off probation.
18 months.
Well, plus or minus, I can.
Has anyone lasted that long working for you?
Yeah, actually, our girl Athena's been, she's been hanging in there, so she's not too bad.
God bless her soul.
Yeah, definitely. She's a martyr, going straight to heaven, for sure. But now that you're actually, we wanted to create a custom fragrance for you, so we want to discuss that now and see what your take is on it. So here's what goes into creating a custom fragrance. Really, it's more of a custom bottle than a custom fragrance, or a combination thereof. One would be, of course, creating an emoji. And then the second one, of course, then is determining your scent. What is your scent, young lady?
Well, I don't think you could
Is
bottle
spicy,
it
sweet?
I don't think you could bottle perfection, but I mean, if you could, it would definitely be perfection.
We can try to bottle perfection, like a new car smell. Is that?
I would say like Well, I think we had discussed that Malibu Breeze was already taken, right? Because I was going to do Maybay's Malibu Breeze.
Well, Malibu Breeze is, I think, one of our standard fragrances. So we can use one of the standard fragrances. So we can cut, Malibu Breeze with Bud Light or something like that.
Bud Light. Do I ever drink Bud Light, Rami?
Whatever. We just want to try to get close to what, when somebody uses that fragrance in his or her vehicle, not only is there the imagery of Jeannie there, but also like I prefer to do a custom scent even for mixing a couple of things together. We've done that for some people. Like you look at Lacey's, for example,
gummy bears,
smelling
right?
like gummy bears. Yeah, exactly. That's unique to her, but we can do something along that vein. So what do you think? What are you thinking?
I really like the black ice one.
We're one of our most popular ones.
I love that.
We can mix black ice with like a fruit flavor, like a berry or something.
Would that be good?
Yeah, actually, the one that I made for myself, Gucci,
Oh,
was a combination of black ice and mango. Coming to a show sometime near you with
Maybay's personal.
Maybay's
personal scent.
Berry Blast or whatever, Berry Breeze or something like that. And the other one is like, we're looking forward to getting either a calendar or a poster of you somewhere on our premises. What do we have to do to get that? Who do we have to appeal to? Is there such a thing even?
So I could make an exception for you. Really going out on the limit here, but
as you usually do.
I am going to be releasing a calendar at the end of the year. Well, 3 calendars at the end of the year. 3 calendars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's a 3 different themes, or what are you doing?
Overachiever,
3 different themes, or what are you doing?
So I'm going to be doing 1 calendar specific just to show trucks and shows that I've gone to.
Okay.
I'll be doing 1 calendar for the PNW because I'm from the PNW. I'm from Southern Oregon, and the PNW is very near and dear to my heart.
Is the PNW kind of more like I dig it, but is that like a rural type of calendar, like Jeannie and Horse type of thing? I don't know if you guys know Jeannie has a horse and a ranch.
It's it's gonna be like local trucks, more.
Oh, okay. So it's still vehicles,
trucks,
but more local vehicles.
Yeah, and it won't be just trucks. It'll just be local vehicles that I've represented.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I'll have one specific just to me, and you'll have to buy it to figure out what it is. But I could pull some strings and maybe get you one.
Put us on the short list.
You're already there, but.
If you had clown's feet, what would you do?
Clown's feet.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's only honorary that you dance around like an idiot and honk your nose.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. How do clowns make you feel?
I hate clowns. I'm absolutely horrified of clowns.
All right. So as I sit here, this is Thank you, Jordan, for this great question here. I love this question. It's a great question, very dear and near to me. Uh, as far as potential mates are concerned moving forward, do you prefer a rip body or a dad body? Dad bod. Well, what's your preference out there?
What's my preference?
No, what's your preference?
Taller than me.
All right.
And that's really hard to find.
That sure is hard to find. That kind of narrows down the population.
Yeah, so I can't really be too picky.
Okay, there you go. Dad bods it is. Best pickup line you've heard.
Oh gosh, best pickup line I've ever heard. Someone had asked me, did it hurt? And I said, when? And they said, when you fell from heaven. And I said, obviously I didn't fall because I have wings on my back. And he said, oh, that makes sense because you're the prettiest angel I've ever seen.
Dude,
or something dumb like
that's a
that.
couple of cliche ones right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
wow, back
was.
to back.
It was.
And you put a ring on your finger?
No. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go through some favorite questions here for Jeannie Mae. This is from somebody calling in.
Okay.
What do people misunderstand about you the most?
They think I'm short.
Get out of here.
Every single person I've ever met is surprised at how tall I am.
Who are the three most influential people in your life? But we're going to narrow it down to two because I know I'm one of them. So who are the other two most influential people in your life?
I would have to say my dad,
Mm-hmm.
who passed away when I was 11. He was just super kind and very generous and always made sure that people that had less than us he always gave them something, regardless of how little we had. And that always stuck with me. And then I would say my son.
Oh, good. I like that. Bucket list, number one. What's on your bucket list?
Swim with sharks in Bora Bora.
Wow, she threw that one out right away.
Yep.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
Common myth about your job.
That I just sit behind a desk and answer phones all day.
Favorite part of a truck show, other than hanging out with me.
I was going to say hanging out with you, of course. Meeting new people.
Least favorite part of the truck show, other than hanging out with me, of course.
Dealing with you all day. Yeah, that's probably my least favorite. The heat, because you always drag me to the East Coast and it's like a million degrees over there.
That's how truck shows are, man. I got to tell you, there are hardly any indoor truck shows. Most important lesson of your life or your career. Are you a trusting lady?
I am.
Overly?
I am.
Has
It bites me in the butt pretty often.
Yeah?
Yep.
Any regrets?
The only regret I have is not listening to my gut more often.
To your dad?
To my gut.
Your gut. Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
Gut instinct is very important, definitely. All right. We're going to close out the podcast. Again, thank you everybody for joining us for our inaugural podcast of Renegade Products USA with Jeannie. Jeannie, we're going to allow you as our guest the final insult of the show.
The final insult?
The final insult comes from Jeannie.
Mommy, I can't.
Or compliment if you want, or just comment. Or
I would just like to say that I appreciate you guys having me. And I'm very honored to be a part of Renegade Products.
Oh, that's so awesome. We are happy you're here.
Even though I have to deal with you.
Yeah. All right, that's a wrap.